Hi guys, so I'm getting through my Armageddon Warhammer 40k box rather well. Obviously still just doing the orks at the moment because, well, I love orks, so they're bound to get done first. But yeah, not got too many left, so I will be getting on to the Space Marines eventually. For this video, I'm going to show you how I painted this Painboy. And yeah, love how he's come out. Obviously a bit of a combination of slap chop painting and then a little bit of highlight painting afterwards. And yeah, really pleased with how he's come out. So I just want to say big shout out and thank you to Dragon Hoarde Collectibles, as they did kindly send me the Armageddon box for me to obviously paint up and show how I've painted all the bits. So I started by priming this dude in black and then done a zenithal highlighting with white. So rather than sort of slap chop dry brushing, I thought I'd go the simpler, easier, quicker way of just doing the white highlighting from above. And then painting obviously the green. Yeah, this is one of my my top three greens that I love to use. And the main reason is obviously I love the colour, but I love the way it does pull in all the nooks, the crannies, the recesses. So you get that nice contrast in the colours. But so what I'm going to be doing from now on, or I'm going to try and do, and that is a bit of highlight painting, just to vary things up a little bit more, and well, to try and improve my painting skills. Obviously, I've had the channel 5 and a bit years, been painting miniatures mostly for the last 3 years, and absolutely love it. So I have seen some people paint the guy's arm, because obviously it's been stitched on, in a different colour. So that's why I've gone with like a human skin colour. So yeah, this orc has lost his arm and he's sewn on a human one. And as you can see, I painted it with a normal acrylic colour, and I'm going to put a wash over the top. Again, obviously get some sort of contrast into it. But yeah, I will be going over and doing some highlighting with the arm as well. So all the cloth that this dude's wearing, obviously I'm sort of visualising it all being initially white, but then obviously over time it's got dirty. So that's why I'm doing a wash over a lot of the sort of the cloth stuff that's on him. But again, I do a little bit of highlighting with that as well. So yeah, really pleased with, well, basically how he's come out. And again, it's that case of trying something a little bit different. Well, I say different. I've done highlighting every now and then, but just not consistently. But obviously the results on this dude are making me think I'm going to be doing it a bit more now. So yeah, even with his little cloak, tunic, apron, yeah, again in my head this was initially white. Over time, it's yeah, it's definitely gone an off-white, and obviously you'll see me add in some blood effects a bit later on in the video. So good old blood red, yeah, this one does get used quite a bit, but I kind of using this first for the tank on his back. Not sure why. I just thought the tank, well, should be red. Yeah, no reason. Again, this is where sometimes I do like copying other people when it comes to painting things, because I'm never too sure always what colour to use. I don't know if you guys sort of get that. So I was thinking in my head rather red or green, and for some reason, well, I think I had red on the desk, so that's why I used the red. So using the ruby skin, it's a lighter pink to the colour I used before. I'm going to be doing this on his arms. And again, so this is where I am kind of new to this, and something I do need to do, which I don't think I've ever done, is water my paints down. But luckily I'm obviously putting this on just very carefully, very gradually in small little bits. But yeah, this is where you do really need to water the paints down, and then you kind of build up the colour with a variety of sort of layers or levels, as opposed to me almost doing it in one hit. Um, Again, I'm quite happy with the results that they've come out. And again, this painting is all about trying things, learning things, making mistakes, and obviously watching other people, seeing what they do. So for his green, yeah, I've gone for this. It's really rather an illuminous kind of green, just to do the highlights. Um, Again, no other reason than that I really like the look of the green, because it really was quite vibrant and almost looks like it will glow in the dark. So again, yeah, these aren't watered down, and I know that's one of the big things that everyone will ever tell you: always water down your paints, so that way you get a nice smoother finish. You don't get clumps, and also if you use thick paint, it will take away all the detail from the miniature, especially if you obviously put layer after layer after layer on. So yeah, you will see me soon, hopefully. I can remember to start watering down my paints. But yeah, love how the effect come on this. So it is a case of just trying to do the raised areas, any areas that can only get hit by the sun, make them that little bit lighter, I guess. Again, it's all practice. Practice, as I say, makes perfect. Well, some cases. So yeah, with his apron again, I want to sort of bring some white bits back to that, so a little bit of highlighting here and there. And again, the only thing I've got in my head is I just keep thinking the sun's coming from above, 45-degree angle, so anything that's raised and sort of like upwards should get a little bit of lighting to it. And this is the stage obviously he's at the moment, and yeah, say really pleased with how it's come out. Would it be a lot sort of softer, smoother if I'd watered down those paint to the highlights, but say we live and learn. So typically, I always normally paint Ork's pants blue because I kind of always envisage them wearing jeans. But for some reason, because this is kind of like a doctor, even though it's one I wouldn't want to go to, yeah, I didn't think jeans would look good for him. So I've gone for sort of a brownish looking sort of pant colour. Yeah, just because I think he needs to be a bit smarter than everyone else wearing their jeans. So yeah, that's the only reason I've gone for this colour. Again, choosing colours, I think that's one of the hardest things I find when it comes to painting. Is yeah, typically what colours to paint things in. So he's obviously got quite a lot of stitches on this dude. I'm guessing he's been fixing himself, which is why he's got a human hand or arm at the top. So it's just a case of going around, say where all the stitches are. I mean, I'm adding white. I probably should have really done a bit of grey rather than white, because again, these stitches they wouldn't be staying nice and neat and clean, as they will obviously eventually get dirty. Oh, well, and blood red. I should put that on it as well, I guess. Something I don't think I showed there. I did put obviously a bit of blood in between where the joins are and any sort of well, any cracks he's got in him. Yeah, I did put a little bit of red in there. So doing the base, yeah, typically I've been doing a lot of pigments for bases. I didn't really fancy doing that on this dude, so that's why I've just painted the base in that sort of the creamy brown colour, and then just going over a wash again, just to add a little bit of highlighting, bit of contrast, yeah, a bit of sort of texture definition, really, I guess. But yeah, typically I have been using a lot of pigments because well, I love pigments. So for the hose, I thought rather than just doing it one colour, I would do it as stripes. And typically, obviously, the good stripes are black and yellow because they're kind of like warning signs. So I thought I'd have a go at doing that. And this is where I'm not very good at freehand stuff. I don't know if it's my eyesight or my hands or even my brain, whatever it is, I can't get all three of them to work together to get things looking nice and neat freehand. So as you can see, trying to do sort of, well, stripes on this. Difficult bit is getting the stripes the same sort of thickness. So as you can see, doing it on one sort of side here, then I do turn the miniature around and do a bit on the top as I'm going all the way around. But then I did find eventually I was getting the black and the yellow and just kept going over it, trying to make them all the same sort of size. Yeah, in the end I gave up because it was just a case of I'm making one bit thicker, one bit thinner, and then that was just getting repeated. So it was like, yeah, leave that. We'll put a wash over the top and hope that kind of like hides it all in together, which it kind of does. Yeah, so I'm gonna be gonna go at doing more freehand stuff. Again, that's the only way you really get to learn and get better, is by doing it over and over again until, well, it's almost like second nature and a whole lot easier. Right, so let's add some more blood to him. So he's almost done, really. It's just a case of, yeah, he definitely looks too clean. Say this guy is a doctor, kinda. So let's add a lot of blood to him. So I always find the best way I prefer to do the blood, obviously put the red on, and then put my finger over it so it kind of like smudges it and dries it out a little bit. So it does make it look like the red is a bit more aged, and makes it look like it hasn't been sort of just painted on. So yeah, smudging it with the finger definitely, well, in my opinion, gives a good little result. So obviously I would have put quite a bit of this on, but not too much. I had considered putting some of the paint on a toothbrush, and then doing the old flicking bit. But I've done it before, and sometimes you can just get too much red. So this time I thought, yeah, let's just be a bit more careful and do each little bit separately. So yeah, doing it on there, smudging it with my finger, and then putting a couple of little sort of dots here and there, but leaving them as they are, just so they are nice and red and vibrant. And yeah, this is how he's turned out. So I'm really, really pleased with how he's come out. Obviously, it didn't take too long at all to paint him. Um, yeah, pleased with how the highlights come out as well. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of that because, well, it just adds a bit more sort of contrast, definition, and just an overall good look to the miniatures. So guys, this guy will be on my eBay. Like most of the things I'm going to be painting now, I am going to be selling them to obviously buy more bits and pieces and, well, obviously to fund this channel. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below. Check out Dragon Hoarde Collectibles for your miniatures and all your basing materials and paints and all that kind of stuff. And guys, check out, I will be doing some live streaming. I'm going to try and do one, I think, tonight. So this is obviously Sunday this video is coming out. So yeah, keep an eye out for some live stream painting. Okay guys, you all take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now.